Martu, 95 more, 97 pitcher. Okay, 98.
Sit out. Yeah. We're good. How many votes? Do shorts. She goes to corner.
Yeah.
Done.
John, I plan on trying to get Zoom or Otter,
What's that?
so I can just share it to you.
Okay, sounds good.
The guys in the LA, they were just kind of.
Good on Otter.
What?
You're able to get it on Otter.
I'm hoping to, yeah. I'm just gonna have some sound and hold the where the speaker is here. I don't know.
Yes. Put that in my text. You sound like your dad.
Oh, I get a headache.
Going on speakers. Fancy meeting you here, BJ.
Yeah, I'm so cold.
Me too.
I wish I could. I wish I could close these for everybody leaves. I thought about going down to the end, spreading out a little bit.
I hope this is gonna be loud enough to pick up my audio. Going up there. Yeah, I'm gonna come up there in a minute. Actually, are they going down there? Are there people?
Any chance we can close these now that most people left?
Oh yeah, it is like 10 degrees warmer
I
here.
can put him down about halfway.
I don't know if that would do much. Dude, audio might get messed up if you're.
Why are you so complicated, BJ? Oh. I might just move next week.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to do the steps. My connection's going slow. I'm about to do interviews. I'll see if I can get those steps.
Ooh. Oh man, it's so much warmer up here. It's like 10 degrees warmer.
I'm going to take the scores. Okay. Well, I think everything else is working fine. It's just trying to remote in.
You're on twice, Dave.
I know.
Oh,
All right, cool.
what do you say?
I was just trying to get staff. You split them and stuff. My audio too loud? Someone talks.
You got headphones?
I do, but they're not working.
Just listen to mine then. I'll have it loud enough because there's an echo. You should be able to hear them even.
Yeah, okay. I don't think it's not too much feedback.
Well, I'm going to put it on. Be right next to each other.
Okay.
Let me see if my headphones work.
Oh, there's Hank.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, I can hear it now.
Hold on, I can't hear you guys. Turn that up a little bit. Is that up? Oh, there we go. What the?
You guys talking?
Can you hear us? This is Aaron here.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, perfect. Hank, thanks for joining us. We'll do this as we do usual interviews. Ron, you can start it off, and then we'll go BJ, Jay, Dave, down to Brad. All right, so Ron, feel like starting it off.
Hank, you guys hadn't played a game in almost a year. You guys come out and look like you're in mid-season form. Just talk to me about how you guys performed today and how you guys created your own energy out there.
I just think Coach Harsin and the staff did an incredible job of preparing us throughout this entire COVID pandemic, and I think it showed today. I just felt like we've been preparing so hard and so long for this opportunity, and I think that it showed today, and I think that we can be even better next week.
You guys put up 28 points going into halftime. You know, that had to do wonders for your confidence. What was the game plan coming out in the second half? You know, what did you guys want to do there?
I just think kind of keep doing what we were doing. I think kind of develop the run game, get it going, and then just try to get completions. And yeah, I feel like we did a good job in the second half as well.
Thank you.
Hank, just you know, we saw Jack Steers in there some. We saw some wrinkles in the offense, you know, Wildcat and stuff, and some of those end rounds. Just what was it like to kind of open up the playbook a little bit and do some different things?
That's Boise State. I mean, that's what we do. I think it's pretty awesome what we were able to do personnel wise. I think that's kind of a staple of our offense, along with the shifts and motions. That's just Boise State football. So yeah, it was really fun.
What did it mean just to be out there playing, and what was the feeling like, you know, with no fans and just the weirdness of it, but being out there playing?
I miss our fans. That's one thing that I got to say. It is a different feeling, but a win's a win, and go Bronco Nation. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Tust or Will, are you guys on this call? No?
I think Will's on.
Okay, Will. Okay, Dave, go ahead.
Muting myself. Okay. Hank, was there anything good about it being so weird out there?
Was it good? I mean, I think it kind of comes back to our preparation. I think Coach Harsin has done a great job of preparing us for how it's going to be. I mean, it's similar to, like, I think Belichick said something recently, like it feels like practice. It feels weird. Like, it does feel weird without, you know, having the fans in the blue.
What was Garrett Curran like when that play didn't quite work out?
He was pretty bummed. I think we were all pretty bummed that it didn't work out. We kind of saw the look and we're like, it might be tough here, but we called it in, and you know, I thought he was going to score, so he didn't get it.
How much tonight did you just savor the fact that there was a game? I mean, for a while, you guys weren't going to play in the fall. We've seen games get canceled. So how much are you just appreciating each one of these?
I think I've seen a lot of guys say that they appreciate football more and more because of the COVID pandemic, and I think that that's a real thing. And to be able to play this fall and have a football season for our conference is awesome, and it's great for Boise State.
Okay, Tust, I saw you just joined. Do you have any questions, Jay?
Yeah. Hank, what did it mean to your guys' offense just to get into a flow early, and just how nice was that? I mean, it seemed like you guys were in a rhythm pretty early on after that first drive, at least.
You know, to be honest, I feel like we did a great job out operating and executing on that drive, but I think we stalled a few times later on throughout the game, and that was kind of disappointing. I missed a few throws, disappointed myself there, and to be honest, I'm pretty excited about how much more we can even grow next week.
You got a lot of guys involved tonight. Talk about your ability to spread the ball around, and then you know, Khalil just kind of had a nose for the end zone once he got down there. How impressive is he after the catch?
You saw it for yourself. He's just been like that. And as far as distributing the ball, I mean, that's just our offense trying to get it to different guys, and it showed today.
Thanks, Hank.
Thank you.
Hey, Brad, BJ, real quick. Brad, do you have any questions before we get to the follow-ups?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Okay, Rachel's got some questions right here. Rachel, go ahead.
You have a kicker today that hadn't played in a couple of years. He went on a church mission, and he went out there and did a good job. He's a local kicker. What did you think of his performance?
Jonah, right? Jonah?
Yes, Jonah Bellman, sorry.
Yeah, Jonah. Yeah, I was figuring you were talking about Jonah. Yeah, Jonah's an incredible kid, and just coming in and meeting him and talking to him, he's got a great personality, and I'm very excited for him and the way he played. And I think it's kind of been a trend. You know, Eric Sachs, he's still kind of hanging around here, and I don't know what his affiliation was with getting Jonah here was, but yeah, Eric last year and Jonah this year, it's pretty awesome.
All right, BJ, go ahead with your follow-up.
Yeah, Hank, you took a couple hits tonight, but what did you think overall of how the O-line played?
I thought they played really, really well. I thought we ran the ball. exceptionally well, and I feel like we had great protection all night. So, yeah.
And what'd you think of George, that one touchdown where he juked like half their team to get into the end zone?
Was that on the little pass at the end of the half?
12-yard pass that you had to him, yeah.
That's just George.
17, I guess.
That's freaking George Holani for you. I mean, he did it last year, and obviously he's going to do it this year. So it's pretty exciting just to watch him do what he does, and it's an honor just to be back there with him.
All right, Ron.
And kind of building on that, George had a big game today, especially in the first game of the season. How much easier does it make your job when he's carrying the ball like that, when he's carrying the load?
I think it just opens everything else up, to be honest. It kind of helps out if you can marry the play-action game and kind of get some shots developed and try to load the box, try to stop the run, opens up the passing game. So,
and especially early on, you guys got the tight ends involved quite a bit today. Was that part of the game plan? And what makes that so important? What makes a tight end so important to a quarterback?
To me, I mean, John Bates, I think we talked about it in my last interview, just kind of a prototypical tight end that you want. I mean, John kind of does it all. And for him, even Riley Smith getting the ball is pretty awesome. And I think just to utilize them for this game and the following games is awesome. But I think for me, it's just a big safety net, because I think you can kind of just put it on them anywhere. They got a big catch radius, and it showed tonight.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
All right, Hank, you're all good, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys, I think Riley Whimpey's right here. He's going to hop on.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thanks.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, Riley. You can hear us all right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, sounds good. Guys, we'll stick with the same order. So, Ron, you can go ahead and start off.
So, Riley, you guys talked all week about having to create your own energy because there was going to be no fans, especially on defense. How well do you think you guys accomplished that?
I thought, when we first came out the first and second quarter, I thought we did a great job, bringing our energy, held them to 0 points. But as the game went on, I thought we came out a little slow in the third quarter. And, we got the W, but, that's not going to cut it. We got to finish the whole game and bring the energy the whole game. But, first half was good and excited we got the W.
And you're playing behind a rebuilt defensive line. Just tell me how you feel like those guys did today and who really stood out to you in that group.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job. Any linebacker loves having a great D-line up in front of them. And like you said, a lot of them had, this is their first game or their first game playing a full game. And so, I thought as a group, I thought they did a great job in the first and second quarter, getting off the ball, keeping the offensive linemen off of the linebackers. But, I mean, like I said, in the third quarter mainly, as a full defense, I feel like we need to pick it up. Just not satisfied with how we came out then, and that's something that we need to fix going into next week. Especially early on, it seemed like you were rushing the quarterback more than last season. Is that a role that you're going to take on more this season, and is that something you're excited about? Man, anytime I can blitz and rush the quarterback, I'm all for it. I mean, that's just how it happened to be this game, and gave me the opportunity to, pressure and confuse the quarterback and came away with a sack when that first quarter, first drive, I believe it was. But like I said, anytime I get a blitz, I'm all for it. Thanks, man.
What was it like playing with no fans?
Sorry, what's that? Will you repeat that one more time?
What was it like playing with no fans?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely miss Bronco Nation. It's different not, running out of the tunnel and hearing, Bronco Nation's chant, Boise State and whatnot. But, hopefully sooner than later we can get them in the stands and, hopefully there can be a plan in place that can, safely get them back sooner than later. So, I mean, with there being no fans, I thought we did a great job coming out and bringing our own energy. We had some teammates in the stands. They were cheering for us as well, and the sideline was all engaged. And so, it was good. But at the end of the day, it's football, and you just got to lock into your keys and play.
You guys had no players out because of COVID in this one. So what, just to find out that your whole team was going to be available in this one, and what did that mean to you guys? And what was it like just playing a game out there, given everything that's happened?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to us to know that we had everybody going into this week, and I think that Coach Harsin always says, that means that we're doing something right as a team, and so hopefully we can keep that up and go into the next week's game with everybody, and. The second part of the question, is, it was weird when they canceled the season. Didn't know really what to think about it. Didn't think it would come to that point. But, to be able to go out there today and play was something special. And, it's something that I'm never going to forget, being able to go out there and play with my teammates. And it was awesome and something that I'm never going to forget.
You mentioned, your dominance in the first half, only 45 yards, 1 first down for Utah State. What was working so well for you guys to keep getting them off the field?
I think we did a great job stopping the run. And, when you stop the run, you make an offense one-dimensional. And I thought we did a great job with that in the first half. I thought we did a great job when, they did pass the ball. We did a good job getting to them. And like I said, in the third quarter, we didn't do the best stopping the run. They were able to, I believe they got like 70 rushing yards on one drive, one possession. And that's not going to cut it. So we got to come back and fix that and improve there.
Thanks, Riley.
Test.
What's up, Riley?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Hey, just kind of a funny one, but we were joking with you about your mom earlier in the week. Is she all good, and you don't have to worry about her? Or was she peeking over the fence? What was that about tonight?
Yeah, I mean, a group of parents actually got together and they were waiting outside of the Hall of Fame building when we all pulled up. We couldn't go say, hello or go hug them or whatnot. But it was good to see him and definitely fired me up. But, who knows? She could have tried to break in and she could be in jail right now. I still haven't talked with her. So hopefully when I give her a call, she's good and not in prison. But anyway, no, I think she ended up watching the game at the Ram with a few other parents. And I haven't talked to her yet, but I'm sure it was good. And, I'm sure she wished that she could be here. But like I said, hopefully sooner than later we can get her in the stands.
There were so many built-in excuses, delayed season. Obviously guys didn't have spring practice, but you got off to such a good start. Four out of their first drives were 3 and outs. What did it mean to just, kind of kill that momentum on their end from the get-go?
Yeah, I think our team as a whole came out and did a great job. And I think that, that credit goes to all the preparation that we put in. The season was postponed, canceled, but we were still working. We were even when we were back home and not together as a team, our coaches had a great plan for us to continue to work and to improve so that when we did come back together, I felt like we were, at another level and continued to work from that level and up. And so I felt like the preparation really helped us, helped separate us from Utah State at the beginning of this game. And, Utah State is a great team, but I feel like that was, definitely where we pulled away is we prepared really well and put a lot of work in the off season, and it paid off.
Thank you, Riley.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, Dave.
What's up, Riley?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, man. I'm just trying to wonder, how are you guys trying to just embrace this whole thing? Whether it's, your season's going to be shortened. Some games we've seen have been canceled and there's no fans and stuff. How are you guys trying to embrace this whole strangeness?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the seniors didn't even know if we were going to get a season. And so to be able to be out here and to see how far we've come, that's special. And, for me, I'm grateful that we're just going in the right direction and we're able to even get out there and play. And like I said, the next step, man, is we need to get our families in the stands. And there's no reason why they shouldn't be there. There's safe protocols that we can put in place to allow them to be there. And so, that's the next step we need to take is to get them there because there's no reason they shouldn't be. But overall, it's special to be out there because we didn't even know that we were gonna have a season, and to be able to go out there and play like we did, it was awesome.
I asked Hank the same question. I don't know if you can say, I don't know, being on defense without the crowd or whatever, but was there anything good about it being like a practice, it being like a scrimmage, the fact that there wasn't all this extraneous stuff?
I mean, yeah, it allows you to hear the offense a little bit better, hear, what their cadence is, what their checks are. But I mean, like I've said before, I mean, Bronco Nation holds the record, I believe, for how many false starts they get offenses to have. And so, although we could hear a little bit better of what the offensive was saying, it doesn't compare to having Bronco Nation there screaming and chanting and whatnot.
Awesome. Thanks, Riley.
All right, Rachel.
Hey Riley, I'm working on a story on a couple of the local kids. So Keegan Freeborn, nose tackle, and Jonah Donless. They both went to the same high school and got the first chance to play on the blue today. What did you think of each of their performances?
Man, I thought they did a great job. I mean, Jonah came out and nailed every PAT he got. He's an awesome kid, good kid. I look up to him and excited that he's on our team. Keegan Freeborn as well. He's an animal. He's a workhorse. He does what he needs to do. And, to be able to see him come out and play as well was awesome. And, I only see him continuing to improve. And I mean, he has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see where that takes him.
We did get a turnover at the very end of the game, and I keep pushing to see if there's going to be a new reward for turnovers. Did Tyreek get anything after the game?
Man, I mean, he got a lot of high fives and fist bumps, but as of right now, we don't have anything in place for turnovers, but, a turnover is huge, and be able to finish a game off like that with a turnover is awesome. And, we were super excited for him, and, hopefully we can get more turnovers going into next week.
All right, Riley, I think we're all good. Thanks for joining us.
All righty. Thank you guys, and have a great weekend. Great night.
You too.
You guys hear me okay? Okay, Hars will be wrapping up with radio here just a minute, and appreciate your patience. I think we could probably get a third guy on here, but we needed to get this figured out first. So appreciate you guys' patience.
Ars, can you hear us all right?
All right, can you guys hear me?
We can.
All right, I can hear you as well. So we'll get started. I'll just tell you what I thought of the game. One, just everything leading into the game and what it took for us to be here. And Utah State, I know that they've worked and have gone through things as far as the testing and the same process of being on and off like we had to be where we are right now. So, I just, for those players and coaches at Utah State, got a lot of respect for them and certainly appreciate them being here and able to play so that we could compete. And then for our team, we had everybody available. The rule now at home, you don't have your whole entire team on the sideline. You have 74. So those other players were able to sit in the stands, and that was good. They got to be a part of it. But overall, just the opportunity to compete was exciting, to even run out there and see another opponent and know that we have a chance to go play football. And everything leading up to the game, that was a focus for us of just trying to keep it as normal as we could with not having fans there and not having that energy and that buildup. And that was a challenge. And I thought our guys handled it really well. I don't think we came out flat. I think that they were prepared mentally to come out there and play. And I thought we had a pretty fast start in the first half. We were a little sluggish in the second half. We were able to pick it up and finish. But there were some individual plays that were made tonight that I thought were really good. But overall, as a team, our defense ran to the ball and we tackled well. We needed to be better in the second half. Our offense, we're able to run the ball. And I think Hank played well tonight. I thought Shakir and Bates and some of our skilled players made the plays that we hoped they would make. And then special teams, Jonah Dalmas, his first start and making all his extra points, that was a positive. We obviously had the one butt punt, I guess is the best way to put it. So that was a negative, and it gave their offense momentum and field position. And I don't think if we have that, they score again. So, it happened, right? And the one thing I'll say about Joel and that I like about this team is Joel just acknowledged it was a mistake and we moved on. He has been punting the ball extremely well. He punted the ball well tonight. But overall in special teams, there were some good things that obviously wasn't, and we'll correct that. That won't happen again. But just as a team, I thought there was a lot of energy in the first half. I thought halftime went well. We need to be better in the second half, but we did finish. And so it's always great to be able to win your first game and have all these corrections that you're going to have to make going into the next one. But when you can do it with a win, I always think the focus is better when you go back and correct the mistakes from the previous game and start working on the next opponent. And the next opponent's really good. We're at Air Force against a really good Air Force team, and we know the challenges that Air Force provides us. But I'm happy for our guys. I really am. And I'm happy for their families. I'm happy for our fans. And it was obviously a very different environment. One of the things now after going through this, and people ask me, what is it going to be like? I hope we don't ever have to go through that again. And I can't wait to get our fans back in the stands. And I know it's not going to be a packed house. I hope we're able to do more as we move forward. But someday when we do have our fans and 37,000 people in Albertson Stadium, no one's ever going to take that for granted whatsoever, because that environment is so electric. And I'm glad we won tonight, but certainly that's something that we're all looking forward to when this thing improves and we're able to do that. So congratulations to our guys. Awesome. Congratulations to our coaches.
a lot of respect for Utah State, and we're 1-0. 24 hours later, we're going to focus on Air Force and try to do the same thing next week. Questions?
All right, Ron.
Hey, Coach. So you just touched on Khalil Shakir a minute ago. He did so much for you guys. 132 receiving yards. He carried the ball. What is a guy that can do that much do to a defense? How tough is he to defend?
Well, you saw him tonight. Now, the one thing about Khalil, he's like that all the time. Just in the weight room, in his conditioning, in practice, he works at a high level, and he's obviously talented. But that's sometimes overrated, right? How hard you work, how much you focus, the consistency that you do all those things with. That's why he's difficult to defend, because you can put him in the backfield and hand it off to him. You can flip it to him on a sweep. You can throw it to him down the field. You can dump one over the middle. That's literally a 5-yard throw that's not very hard to make, and he takes it and runs in for a touchdown and makes all these people miss. But that's how he prepares himself. And so he's very competitive, and he's a very focused young man, and he's very competitive. So I feel like when you're around him, he's compelled to do things at a really high level, and it showed up tonight. And that was one of the guys that we wanted to get the ball to. He and Holani and Bates and other guys on our team, but those guys have been practicing well, and it was good to see those guys make some plays. And obviously Khalil did some really good things. So he was able to be in a lot of the game plan tonight, and he executed.
Especially given what you guys have back at linebacker and in the secondary. It seems like expectations are pretty high for the defense this year. How did they fulfill your expectations for them tonight?
Well, yes, we always have expectations of ourselves. And I know what you're saying, but it's really just the things that we talk about on defense, and I'm not going to say all the things that we talk about, but those are my expectations, are the things that we hit with our guys every single day. Whatever happens outside of that, that's just icing on the cake, really. We have certain things that we focus on, and that's really what I want to make sure that our defense is focused on every single day and every single game. And I thought tonight they were. And I believe that our formula on the defensive side, if we do these things, we're going to be successful. And so, but I don't want to get too far out of whack with our defense as far as what really matters to us. And what matters to us are the things that we focus on every day. And whether we're undefeated or not, that's still going to be the focus. And no matter what we did this game, we're going to have to do those things better in the next one. And I believe that we have the leadership on the defensive side of the ball to really be able to focus on that point rather than get all caught up in the hype and other things and stats and points and all that. I would like to see, when there was a sudden change after the punt tonight, our defense stop them. That's a challenge. Sudden changes happen, and we didn't do that. So as well as we played, those are some of the things that we focus on and we really challenge ourselves in. But I think Coach Smeding and the defensive staff has done a very good job with a lot of really smart guys that are really tough guys that care tremendously and they can play. And a lot of that showed up tonight. So if we can be more consistent with that, we're going to be a better defense moving forward, which is the ultimate goal every single game, is to be a little bit better.
And last one for me, we saw Holani attempt a punt out there tonight. How long has that been in the works, and what kind of options does that give you guys, having an athlete like that can also punt the ball?
I don't know. I wasn't looking, and they did that on their own. I had no idea. So, no, we actually practiced that. We practiced that all last year and never ran it one time. And so and we felt good about it. We felt like against Utah State that would have been something that was going to help us to be able to rugby punt. And it was okay. And, George is actually – he's very good. He's a very good punter. And he's got the ability too, that if they give you the edge, he could take it, right? He could just run for it. And those options are available. And so, we could have a little bit better punt. Joel obviously was punting well, but it was something that we spent so much time on, and we've had a lot of time to think about things, guys. It's like what we went back and watched it, and it's just like, we got to do this. We felt really strongly about it. We got to do it. And so I work with the punt team, and that's on me. And so I wanted to hit that tonight, and it was okay. We'll be better at it. I mean, I think we'll use George back there, and he can rugby. How much we do it, I don't know, but we actually got it in, and I think everybody knows now that we actually will run it in the game. And I just hope that we execute better on it, and it becomes more of a weapon for us than it was tonight.
Thank you.
Coach, you mentioned the first half. Given everything you guys have dealt with, 300 plus days since you had a game, no fans, not knowing when you're going to play, to come out and have a 304 to 45, advantage in yards and 17-1 first downs. I mean, how pleased were you with that first half?
I was pleased with the first half, and because I felt like the guys were focused on the sideline. And if you looked at our sideline, very few guys were sitting down. Most guys were standing up, and they were into the game, and they were focused on whatever it was that was happening. And then the execution, I thought I didn't like that we had the ball and didn't score the first drive, right? You always want to start fast, and you want to score the first time you have the ball and make a statement of how hard you worked and the execution that you've put into practice, and we weren't able to do that. And that's a credit to Utah State. They obviously were prepared as well. But overall, I felt like there was nobody got down. Nobody started to really panic. We just knew we had to execute better, and then we were able to do that. And so all three phases, that's really what the first half was about. The second half, we could have came out at halftime, out of the locker room, and played better. And we could have had more better execution, probably better energy. But those are some of the things that we have to work through under the environment, in the conditions that we're in this environment that we have to get better at. And I didn't have an answer other than just seeing how we would respond coming out with the lead and knowing that we played pretty well in the first half. But that's the first half. And to me, good teams, really good teams, they play 4 quarters. Teams that, are decent, they'll play a half and get after them and kind of let the other team creep back in. And, I hope that we learn from that. And that's part of our challenge is let's play the 4 quarters. Let's come out in the second half and play faster. But that has to go back to we have to start fast and all the things we did in the first half. And so assuming all those things happened, then we need to finish better. But, next week's a whole different challenge. And what we did this game, it's not going to matter going into the next one. We have to learn from it and apply all those things in the next one.
And my other one, Coach, you mentioned having everybody available, nobody out because of COVID. I don't know if it was last night or this morning or when you got, what was that feeling like knowing that you were going to be clear and have everybody for this game? And, given everything that's happened, I know it's 1 week and you'll be probably doing that every Friday night, but at least for one game, everybody had to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it was a good feeling, BJ. I mean, it's just like you kind of, honestly, it's like you're pumping your fist and everybody's kind of like, all right, we got everybody available. Because that's one of the biggest challenges. Throughout a week of practice, nobody got injured and guys are healthy and who's going to be the guys that you're going to play on Saturday. But you don't know after a test the next day what you're going to get. And when we got the go-ahead, everybody's available. I mean, that's awesome. Now, that being said, there's 2 things to me that stand out. One, I think that our trainers and all the folks that are helping us here, I think we have a solid process. I'm not going to say that we have it figured out, but I think we have a solid process right now. And I challenged everybody in this building, all right, we know that works. How do we recreate that again? How do we do it again next week? So I have no idea. I've seen teams, we've all seen teams that have played for a couple weeks and then the next week everybody's out, right? And I don't know the reason why, and I don't know how it happens. We tried to ask as many questions and try to gain as much knowledge as we can. And I feel like from the way that we meet, eat, and all the other things that we have to do, we're doing it the best with the best practices right now that we know of. And we'll see. It's going to be interesting. We may not be in the same situation next week, and we may not, or the teams we play may not be in the same situation. So, and I don't really know. I mean, I hate to say you kind of keep your fingers crossed, but a little bit is like that's what we have to do, because we don't really know any other ways than what we're doing right now to control this better than what we're doing. And I'm sure we're going to learn along the way, but so far so good.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, Tust.
Brian, we talked with both Hank and Riley tonight, and both of them credited the coaching staff for having the players prepared throughout a pandemic and everything that was thrown at you. On that note, how impressed were you by your guys tonight to come out pretty hot on both sides of the ball and remain focused for the most part throughout that game?
Well, I would flip that around and give kudos to the players for following the process and plans that we had in place. We've had to change a lot of things along the way. We've had to make a lot of adjustments, and our guys have been able to do it. I guess that's the best way to put it. If everybody could respond the way that they responded to all the things that we've had to change, I think we'd all be in better shape than we are right now, because these guys have just been on top of it. And the most inconvenient things that could just upset a lot of people, they've just shifted gears and nodded and like, all right, what's next? And to me, we wouldn't be in the position we're in if those guys didn't have that approach. So, and that needs to continue now. I mean, we just played, we won. There's obviously going to be more attention on them now, more things that are going to distract them from what we're truly trying to accomplish in a very shorter season. So I hope whatever we come up with as a staff and decide, it always works better if everybody's all in on it. Even if it's not always the best thing. I mean, we try to make it the best thing, but if we're all doing it, there is a reason why it will work if everybody's doing it a certain way. So we're going to keep educating ourselves. We're going to keep learning. We're going to keep finding better ways. We're going to keep developing our processes and all those things. But at the end of the day, we all just have to do it, right? That's really what it comes down to. In order to make something work, you all have to actually do it. So far, I think we've actually done it. If that continues, I feel like we'll continue to make progress. If we start kind of doing our own thing, then I don't know what that's going to lead to.
Brian, we know that you have an offensive mind, and when it comes to seeing guys like Hank obviously, but Khalil Shakir. Sorry, I have sound coming on in here. When it comes to guys like Khalil Shakir and George Holani, how excited are you to see those guys just continue to grow up and clearly take advantage of their opportunities?
Well, those guys are pretty easy because they're already driven. They're already focused. Like Khalil and George, it's really just give them a good plan. So really, as a coach, do your job, come up with a really good plan for guys like that, and let them go do the work. It's not really complicated because they work hard, they're motivated, they want to be great. They're willing to do what it takes to sacrifice time to make that happen in their lives. And that gets you excited. I mean, it more than just football, like just being around people like that, right? And so they happen to be really good football players on top of it. And so our coaches, we have a lot of respect for those guys, and they work really hard and they correct a lot of things. They very rarely make the same mistake twice. They make new mistakes, and to me, that's really what you want. And we have a lot of players like that on this team that care like that. So I think this team is close because of that, because you have a lot of guys that care about what they're doing. And when you get yourself surrounded by other guys and people like that, then your execution level goes up. The commitment level feels really good to be around because you know and trust that the intentions of the people around you are the best intentions to be successful for everyone. And, those are two great examples of that. And we have obviously more on this team, but those two guys, I'm glad they're on the offensive side. And I think they showed up tonight and did the things that we all hoped they were able to do, and they had fun doing it.
All right, Dave.
What's up, Hars? How you been?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. I'm good. Good to be back.
Good to see you.
You said when you talked to other coaches about playing in this situation, they all told you the same thing, that it was going to be weird. So was it as weird as you thought?
Yeah, it was different. It was. I don't know if weird is the word now, but it was different. Like I said, I'll tell you, maybe just from being in this environment for a long time, but we get to that third down and, they had a false start. Here's what went through my mind. They had a false start, and I'm like, the crowd's not even here. And it happened. And I was like hoping that maybe that would continue, like just the spirit of Albertson Stadium would get them to false start several more times or something like that. So that actually ran through my mind immediately when it happened. I'm like, man, if our crowd was here. But it was different. Pre-game, I tried to just focus on what we were doing pre-game because we did this, we mocked it, right, in practice, and it wasn't very good. Our pre-game was not very good, and so we had to stop and bring it up, and we had to have a serious conversation about our pre-game when we practiced it. Today was good. Today everybody was pretty focused and did what they had to do. So I was really kind of focused on that. But those big plays like defense makes, right, when there's that type of play and the crowd's into it. So, yeah, that was different. And our sideline, I thought, tried to make up as much as they could as far as the energy part. But that's an interesting question for the players. I think as coaches, you're not playing, right? I'm not going to go out there and hit anybody. I'm not running down trying to get by anybody. And so a little bit easier, I think, for coaches to focus on what they have to do. But as a player, I do believe it does make a difference. And tonight they handled it pretty well. I hope that's sustainable over time, and I hope this improves and we're able to have people there. And I think that will help. But yeah, it was different. And I'm not going to say, hey, it's just football. I would be lying to you if I said it's just football. You miss that. You miss that environment. And I'll tell you, at the end of the game, we all brought it up. We congratulated Utah State, got in the middle of the field. And, I kind of stood out there. You're not high-fiving the fans. You're just some of those things. So that was a little bit different finish, too, for our guys. But it is what it is right now. And we talked about it, so it kind of played out that way. And we're going to have to continue to keep doing that until things change.
One more for me. Kind of wondering, just with the fact that you guys had to wait so long for this, the fact that there's going to be a condensed season, you never know what's going to happen, like you said, sort of kind of the fingers crossed thing. Does that change your approach as a coach of hey, we're gonna throw the kitchen sink out there. We're gonna have George Holani back as a punter. We're gonna give the ball to Garrett Curran. Do you think about that stuff?
Maybe a little, but maybe not as much as you think. What I think about is more of making sure that we're still prepared, but we're enjoying the process of it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because we don't know. I guess that's
right.
We could have got. Today we could have got a call this morning that Utah State couldn't play, right? Or something happened and we couldn't play. So I guess I'm a little bit more focused on that part of it, with just trying to enjoy the days leading into the game a little bit. And I don't mean we haven't changed our approach that much from what we normally do, or our focus, or our intentions on what has to happen each and every day. But being able to high five Jonah and be excited for him that he's going to start his first Division I football game and go out there and kick for the Broncos, and that it's a different type of season for seniors like Riley Whimpey and those guys. So I guess leading into it, kind of just enjoying that a little bit, and I think our players have. I do feel like this team has really good chemistry right now at this point, and I don't know how that shows up in an entire season with execution and wins, but I know how it showed up tonight in a 1-0 opportunity that we finished with, and that was the goal. And I thought in the locker room I got to see some things where guys got to cut loose a little bit and just enjoy that they went out there and played and won a game. And sometimes you don't want to forget that, right? You just take a minute, enjoy the locker room, enjoy the win, and we'll get back to work. But I hope we're finding some enjoyment along the way with what we're doing.
Thanks, Horace.
All right, well, Rachel, and then Woostro to wrap it up.
Speaking of Jonah Dalmas, I wrote a story about him in 2015, and he had hoped that maybe someday he would be a collegiate kicker. Without taking up too much of your time, how did he end up landing with the Broncos?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't even know how old he is. You said 2015. Is he like 25?
Well, he graduated in 2017, so.
Okay. No, I know a little bit more about him. So if I remember the story or what I was told, he reached out to somebody on staff here. It might have been Joel Schneider, and wanted to walk on. Now, we had heard some things from his high school coaches that he could play and that he had a good leg. And when you're a kicker, I mean, that's what you want to know, right? Can he kick? Does he have a good leg? What kind of person is he? And Jonah got here. Jonah is pretty athletic, and is able to probably play, other positions, maybe not at this level, but could play other positions and do things. One thing that stood out to me, so we had over the summer, we had our freshmen and we had a book club. We didn't have any class and things like they normally do. So I led a class with them, and it was a book club. And we all read a book together, and we had to come in and talk about chapters, right? So a little bit like a class. And then we told our stories, right? So each guy got up and told a story in front of the group. And Jonah was the first one when we did that exercise to get up in front of everybody. He was probably one of the newest members, but jumped right up in front and started off the story time that we do. And one, he did a fantastic job, and it was good to hear his story, but just to kind of be the first one to get out there, to get up there and do it, right? And guys have been here longer. It's not a knock on anybody. It's just that he wanted to go, and he wasn't afraid to jump right up and start this thing off and let people know who he is. And that stood out to me. And over time, obviously, his play showed that he was capable of doing what he did tonight. And he was the guy that went out there to kick field goals for us. So I think just some of those things that not everybody gets to see, but it stands out. The character piece, when you have a talented person and the character piece is there, those things show up, and it did tonight. And that's Jonah right there. Before I congratulated him today on getting an opportunity to start, and told him go out there and make it count. And so far, so good.
All right, Woostro.
Hey, Coach. So Hank, 70% completion percentage tonight. I know you're well aware of how good he could be, but after everything he was through,
Woost, you're on mute.
Year, how important was it for him to fit up the season off on his strong start?
Hey, Woost.
Right.
John, you're
Wanted to
on
ask
mute.
about Bachmeier, I think. If Brian, if you could just talk about Bachmeier maybe and what you thought of his play.
He's unmuting right now, guys. So the question's
Yeah, what was, I don't have the stats. What were his stats tonight?
And the first
20
half was 205 yards and
finished the game 20 for 28 for 263 and 3 touchdowns. Then he had a rushing touchdown. He accounted for 4 touchdowns tonight.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean that's a pretty good performance. I thought Hank played well tonight. I thought Hank made some really good decisions. You know, we had some plays that he has to check. I thought he made some good decisions. I think there was a couple plays in there that on third down that we could have executed and converted. He knows that, but overall, his approach tonight was very good. You know, having the 4 touchdowns, that's a big performance for that position. And, you know, I'll go back and evaluate, you know, some of the other things that we talked about in the offseason, the running, those type of things there. But I think the decision-making tonight was pretty good. And I think the execution on a lot of the things was pretty solid. So, but that's where Hank should be. You know, he should be able to do, you know, some of those things. We don't say, hey, go out there and account for 4 touchdowns in the game. I think that's an exceptional performance from a standpoint of scoring points. But, you know, we'll hammer down on the tape. And Hank is very much like those guys I mentioned before, Khalil and George, and he wants to be very good. He wants to improve. He wants to find ways to get better. He enjoys coaching, and you know we'll take coaching, which is extremely important into being successful, especially at that position. So, you know, I was happy with Hank, and it was good to have Jack Sears get in there and do some things. And Jack's only going to get better. Jack, as he learns what we're doing, I think he is talented. I know we missed a throw, but that's first game, new system, and I know what Jack's capable of doing. And those 2 guys, we're going to keep finding ways for them to improve, and we're going to need to as the season goes on to do the things that we want to do.
John Woostro's here with the last question, and then we're done.
Okay.
You know, after Hank's touchdown run, you know, he kind of took a hit as he was entering the end zone. I don't know if you what your vantage point was on that, but you know, were you did you breathe a little easier once you did see him get up and celebrate, and just kind of what was your thought when you saw that collision?
Yeah, I didn't really see it, but you know, it's football, and our quarterbacks haven't been hit since March. All right. Well, go back to last season. They haven't been hit since the bowl game. All right. And Hank in particular. So that's part of his game. He can run. He's going to run. All of our quarterbacks have to learn to run the right way, and there's a time and place to slide or to get down. But there's not a time or place when you're going in the end zone to do that, right? I think as a competitor, it's just the instincts take over and just go. And I think that's what he did tonight, running the ball. And what I never want from any player, I want to be smart, and I want our guys to be smart, but I don't ever want them to flinch and hesitate. And to me, that would take away Hank's ability to play the game the way he plays it. So number one requirement for our quarterbacks, right? Toughness. And that is part of the game when you're going to scramble and run. So, you know, he got back up. I'm sure, you got you got to remember now, this is the first hits he's taken this entire season was tonight. And, you know, he's going to be a little bruised up in some areas, but I'm sure he feels good after the game, and excited for the win. His teammates played well, and he was a part of that. So we'll see him tomorrow, and we'll get ready to rock and roll for the next one.
All right. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Okay. Thank you. Go Broncos.
Thanks, sir.